Next month's my birthday. Next month's my dog's birthday, right? It's also my papa's birthday, and it's also my mom's boyfriend's birthday. But so, the question I'm going to ask you, that was weird, is what do you think about birthdays? Right? Why do birthdays matter? And what does it have to do with astrological signs, zodiacs? Right? People say birthdays are a sign of birth. People say that. But the question is, are birthdays assigned to you by birth? Or are they assigned from you from the sign of heaven? Right? Or are they just random? Right? Or is it because of two people going biggie brown cow at each other and just magically you appear 9 months later, right? Or in some cases longer. But, so my question is, what do you think about the day that you're born? They say the days you're born are set on birth signs. They say the days you were born, right, depend on a horse, they depend on a fucking cow, they depend on a pig. Right. It goes back all the way to the Mayans, to the Egyptians, right, where they would pray to gods and they would murder people just because they think and they thought birth signs, right? If you was born on a certain day, you would die. If you're born in a certain month, you would be alive for decades and for decades. So they would try to keep yourselves alive a lot longer. So that's the point of this video, is, well, how long do you basically think you're going to live? And I know this is a very weird subject video, but it's not that different from some of the context that I make. I mean, literally, I did a dark web video yesterday, or today, technically, but then I did a flea market video also, I mean, a yard sale video, yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of different videos, but this is not the point, okay? Back to what I'm saying, is like, you know, people thought in the witch trials, which had nothing to do with birth, but some of the people was just telling zodiacs, you know? I mean, hell, there's a person who killed babies so she could keep up birth trials, so she could keep up a trial of people. Yeah, and by the way, she was a voodoo queen. The most famous voodoo queen in the world, and she was white. Yeah, the most famous voodoo queen in the world is not black, she is white. But yeah. People say a certain month you're born in, right? One of the most famous days to be born is my birthday, June the 11th. Because if you're born on June 11th, you're more likely to be famous. If you're born June 28th, you're more likely to be famous. If you're born January the 9th, you're more likely to be famous. If you're born November the 12th, you're more likely to be famous. Yeah, right? These are true facts that I'm asking and telling you. So what do you think it takes to be this person, right? Now, this might seem crazy, this might seem odd. Like I said, we get a little bit dark in the middle of this video. Now we're getting closer to the end, right? Now I gotta ask you, but do you think fame defines a person? But do you think birth defines a person? But do you think dreams define a person? That's right. These are things that people have thought over years, like, but that dreams are what defines you, meaning your thoughts define you. Right? There's studies on it that your brain defines every bit of what you think. It defines all your control. It defines when your kids are going to be born. It defines when you're going to get married. It defines everything physically that will happen to you, right? So yes, the question is, do you? People do think this, but the question is, do you? Right? People say your brain knows before you know. Right? Of course, body functionally it does, but does it physically know everything you do before you do? Yep. That's the question you gotta ask yourself. Well, peace out. Right? Look at Albert Einstein. Right? Some of the smartest people in the world are born on these days. Right? The 28th. Right? The 11th. The 12th. The 13th. Right? Right? It's always the middle or near the end of the month, almost always, where some of the greatest people are born.